how do you write an MSP business plan? And that is everything from A to Z, from just starting out and building your executive summary all the way down to what you're good at, what you're not good at, your services that you're going to offer, and a full structure of a future MSP that you might own. I'm going to take you all the way from A to Z in this video. This is going to be a bit of a longer video. I've taken a ton of notes and structured this so it's super easy for you guys to follow. That way you can go out, either build your own MSP, or if you already have an MSP, you're probably missing something that's preventing you from making that massive leap in financial revenue, your growth goals, and everything in between. Because you, like me at some point, probably didn't have a full-blown business plan, and this is what's halting your growth. So let's get into it. My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com, and we help MSPs specifically grow both online but through education as well. And before I get into today's video, I do got to cover two quick things. Number one, there's always a masterclass down below. If you've already taken it, you know that it is jam-packed full of really good information to help you make more sales, hit your financial goals with your MSP. Number two, there is going to be a bunch of links in this video down in the description down below. So that way you can go access anything that I actually talk about in this video. I want to make it easy for you. And number three, I know I said two, I lied. Three, there's a giveaway of a whole bunch of tech stuff that you can use as an MSP sales person, whether you're the business owner or a sales guy, from flash drives to pointers to the hidden gems that I used to carry around on a daily basis that gave me a massive leg up compared to my competition. So let's get into today's video. The first thing you're going to want to do is create an executive summary. Now, what is an executive summary? Well, you are now, if you're starting your business, the CEO of your business. You're the founder, you're the owner, you're the operator. You are all of the hats in the business. And your executive summary is going to describe what your MSP is, the services that you offer, and what the market needs that you're actually addressing. Now, there might be too much competition in the space. There might not be enough competition in the space, but ultimately there's a lot of different areas that you can find that'll help you penetrate the market to ultimately grow. And if you're not sure exactly how to do that or where to go for that, I actually built a little tool. You're welcome to go use it. It's just going to make your life easier. It's called the MSP IT Buyer Persona. And really, it just covers first name, last name, your age, who you're targeting. This is all of who you want to target. City, state, country, if you're in a different country, what demographics you're looking for, psychographics, behavioral habits. It's 2 full pages. And the more information that you can provide, the better off you're going to be, because this is going to be the groundwork, the foundation for you to ultimately grow over time. And if you're thinking about starting this, having this in the back of your mind is only going to make things easier. If you're targeting HIPAA compliance, if you're targeting FINRA or GLBA, Graham-Leach-Bailey Act, or Sarbanes-Oxley, whatever it is that you're targeting, figure out your differentiator. And by filling this out and saying, this is who I would love to work with, that's amazing, because now you know exactly what you need to follow, the rules, regulations, anything like that. And also, maybe you're targeting bigger businesses. You might need to hit some financial goals, or say, hey, I need to raise this much money, or I need to close X amount of deals to hit these certain revenue areas. Figuring out your finances in your executive summary is really important. And also, if you were to close, let's say 5 new deals, and each one of those companies has 20 employees, it's 100 people you're supporting. How much are you charging? And what does your revenue look like in a year from now? If you closed all 5 of those in that 1 year at 20 heads each, how much money does that make per month? Is that $10,000? Is it $5,000? Is it $15,000? It all depends based on what your MSP is going to specialize in and who your target buyer persona is, that perfect dream customer. If you're still not sure what that is, think about it, right? If you're like, this person right here, he has or she has blonde hair, blue eyes, of this race, lives here, this level of college, whatever it may be, the more you know, the better, because everything else becomes easier. Your targeting, your messaging, everything that we're going to be covering through this MSP business plan will become easier when you know who that person is. And it might be one of your best customers that you love, And if you're just starting out and you don't have one of those people, if you could paint an imaginary picture of your perfect client, who would they be and what would they look like? That's really the goal of that buyer persona. So I implore you to take an hour or so, go through it, because the more detailed and the more accurate it is, the higher chance of success you are going to have. That link is down below. You can go through it, grab it, print it out, write all over it. Anytime I work with a coaching student, that is the first thing we go through is who is that person and what do they look like, so we know exactly who we need to target. Next is going to be your vision statement. Now, your vision statement is your vision, what you envision the company. What does the long-term goal look like? Because if somebody's going to invest in your business, or you want to make sure that, hey, I'm still staying the course and staying on track, you want to know, hey, this is where I plan to be in 1 year. I actually just bought and I'm not affiliated with them, but Jesse Itzler has a thing called the Big A calendar, right? 2024. It is 365 days. And you bet that all of my records and all that kind of stuff and where I want to be is going to be on there. Additionally, I bought some whiteboards that I'm in the process of hanging up where I'll be making more content for you guys, but also for me to say, hey, I can go back and write things up, or this needs to get done. And it's nice to be able to see it in a non-digital environment. But think about your vision statement, your mission statement, who you are, what kind of company you want to build, that dream company, because then you can follow your dreams and take the necessary steps to go hit that. So part 2, you got to come up with a company description, right? You have to figure out where you're going to MSP is going to be, the history of the MSP, what you've already done, the types of businesses that you want to target, and the kind of business entity you want to create. Because knowing who you want to target is good, but building a company around who you want to target is even better. You also want your goals and objectives to be clearly defined. I want to hit 1 employee or 2 employees or 5 employees by this time. I want to say that I'm making $10,000 a month with, I don't know, $4,500 in profit every single month by the time 6 months hits. Whatever your goals are. Some of you have extremely aggressive goals, super respect for that. And some of you guys have, hey, I'm still working a full-time job. I just want to think about it and go do it and maybe pick up a couple customers until the money makes sense for me to leave my full-time job and go create the MSP itself. And then figure out what your value proposition is. That's really, really important. What sets you apart, especially towards your buyer persona, that dream client, right? I'm going to talk about this dream client a lot. What sets you apart for this specific person, this type of company? Is it the way you do operations? Is it the compliance that you can offer? Is it the friendly, we always pick up the phone attitude? Is it smile with the service? Is it the white glove service? Think about what your dream customer would absolutely love to have, because that's it. That's who you want to target, your unique value proposition. Now, I'm going to take a quick pause from that because something I want to share with you guys that I just built, and you can go get this, is going to be a little map of an MSP. Now, I built this in a platform called Draw.io, and I'm still going to be working on this, but I just built this out, and I think it's really important. Your MSP, if you're going to offer compliance, everything that you do has to be compliant for the most part. There's some exceptions, but just understand that if you're offering compliance, whether it's HIPAA, FINRA, or somebody else, you have to be compliant. And I just made this little chart where you can see your MSP services. What are your core services, right? Server support, cloud services, help desk support, backup and data recovery, cybersecurity services, and vendor management. And this is everything that falls in. You have your one-time services, what's a one-off, and then you have your other services as well, as far as networking, cable runs, cybersecurity services or solutions, web services, phone services, print services, CIO or consulting, chief information officer, or VCIO, virtual chief information officer, and then security services. Little secret, there's going to be a video coming out probably next week about security services and how you can make a ton of money in security services. But this is a full-blown MSP. If you want to go get it, there will be a link down below. I'm going to be updating this as time goes on. So if you download it today when the video goes live and you check back in 6 months, re-download it. It might look completely different. For the most part, the core services are going to stay the same, but there might be more information there. But this is a super thorough layout of what an MSP can provide, what is actually in there for your business. And this plays into, what does your MSP actually look like? You might not want to offer web services, and that's okay. Get rid of them. Or you don't want to offer phone services or print services. Scratch those off. But you can make a full-blown print out of this whole thing, put it on your wall and say, we don't do these two giant things, but we're doing everything else. That's perfectly fine. You can absolutely 100% go do that. Use it as a tool. I spent several hours making this thing. I think it's as detailed as possible. And if you think I'm missing something, I would love to know about it so I can update this. Please leave a comment down below. I try to make this as good as I can. And if you have a question up to this point or in the future, please leave a comment. I try to answer. I answer just about every single one of them. So let's get back into that market analysis. Now, your next series in your entire business plan is going to be a market analysis. Now, that market analysis is going to be your industry overview, not only just your industry, but who you're targeting. You have to know about your industry. You have to know about who your target market is going to be. You have to also know who your target market is going to be. That buyer persona that we just talked about is going to reveal all of the secrets for you. And then you have to do a competitive analysis. You're probably going to have competitors. There's this concept called the blue ocean, red ocean strategy. Most people, when they first start a business, every business, start in a red ocean. Myself included, I'm no exception. It took me a long time to realize this, so I can teach you guys. When you start to leave the red ocean, think of the red ocean as it's full of, eaten fish and companies, and there's a lot of competition. You're fighting for, most of the time, the lowest price in the pool. But when you have a very specific, you know who your buyer persona is, you know who your dream client is, you know the industry, you've done your market analysis, you know who that target market is, and you know who your competitors are, all of a sudden you start to bring over to the blue ocean where there's not that much competition or no competition at all, and you can go target those companies. That's the benefit of that buyer persona. It allows you to leave this treacherous, horrible place with all of this competition and migrate over into this beautiful place where you can take a full breath and you can relax and you can feel the weight come off of your shoulders and know, hey, while I can't do business with everybody, I know exactly who I can do business with, who my target market is, and I know all my competitors. But now, because I know all my competitors, I know how to differentiate myself, which then gives you a huge competitive advantage in the market. But knowing the market, that market analysis is really, really important for just making your life so much easier. If you don't know what a market analysis is, you're going to look at all the competition. You're going to analyze them, go through their websites, maybe even call them, see who they specialize in, what they're doing, look at yourself, and then look at your buyer persona and start to Google, hey, I want to work in healthcare. I want to work for charter schools. I want to work in architectural firms. Maybe you're the architect MSP and you only specialize in architects because you know what kind of computers they need, the software, you know how they work, how everything's complicated, how everything can be networked together, whatever it may be. Think about that differentiator in your market analysis, and then all of the doors open. Number 4 is going to be your management team and your employment plan. At some point down the road, you probably want to bring on employees. That is how you're going to scale and make that beautiful MRR in the heaps and loads that you want it to be. You have to think about what your team is going to look like, what your management structure is going to look like, and you might even want to paint like a 5-year down the road. Are we going to offer SOC? Are we going to have an internal security team? Are we going to offer maybe penetration testing? There's all of these things that you might not want to start out with, but hey, 5 years down the road, or maybe even 3 years down the road, I want to be able to bolt this onto the company. That's perfect. Or a NOC team to come in. SOC is a level of compliance, but those are all really important that you can add into your business for down the road, because if you do have to get money or you want to remember your goals, writing it in here is the best possible thing that you can do. So what employees do you want? What level of technicians do you want? How many of those technicians in a dream world would it look like? And that's really going to help you. Now, number 5 is going to be those services offered. What services and what pricing are you going to offer? This is really important. I've also created some resources for this as well. So services, you could pick and choose through here. You kind of have to pick the whole branch. You might not want to offer vendor management, depending on whether or not you do. I've also included some little side notes, PSA and RMM, compliance software, depending on what you're doing, and then compliance as a whole if you decide to do all of the compliance. But this is a really good idea to figure out what services you're going to offer. And if you're not sure how much to charge, I'm still working on something for this, but if you want to know how much to charge, I made a great video, pricing packages for an MSP, how much to charge monthly. Go check that video out. I will leave a description down below so you can go grab that video and watch it because it's really thorough and it's designed specifically to help you. And as you can tell, the layout of the video has changed pretty tremendously. I love to see the evolution of things. So we now have services offered. Now we have to get into marketing and sales strategy. This is the hardest part for MSPs because most MSPs never succeed because unfortunately, they don't follow the MSP IT buyer persona. I hate to say it because it's just something that I've made, but if you don't know who your dream client is, it's super difficult. And I'll share with you guys a real world example. I was on a coaching call with one of my students and he was like, hey, he's like, how do I find this or how do I figure out this? I said, well, let's look at the competition. I called several MSP business owners and I talked to them. And this isn't the first time I've done this, but in this specific scenario, none of them have even answered the phone when I wanted to try to be sold something. When I'm working with MSP business owners or I'm calling them and saying, hey, this is what we do. This is how we can help you. I'm like, who's your target market? I could hear a pin drop on that phone call. The lion's share of MSP business owners don't know who they want to target. They don't know how to target them. And me as a marketer, they want to bring us on, growth generators, to help them with whatever they need help with as far as marketing. And 99.9, I've had one person say, I know exactly who I want to target. This is my buyer persona. Boom, 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 boom. When you have that, we as marketers can create gold. But if you don't have that and you just say, oh, I can work with everybody. By you working with everybody, you're back in that red ocean where there is nobody, that they're all competing. Everybody is competing for the lowest price and nobody is excited to do business with you. It's the worst space to be in. Go fill out the buyer persona. It gives you a tremendous level of success in your business growth. It is crazy to me how many people don't know who that is. And if you're curious to know how that buyer persona works, I'm going to paint a quick picture for you. Think about it this way. If you remember when Apple was making all of those videos about, that guy who had the Apple computer, and he's like, well, I run an Apple. And then you have the PC guys, which is like all the corporate people. Apple knew exactly who they wanted to target. That's the beautiful part about it. If you know who to target, you can create messaging for them. You can tell people who you want to target. You can go to your local chamber of commerce, your networking groups, and say, this is my dream client, right? Think about it in another term, right? If a contractor goes up to somebody, maybe he's a residential contractor and was like, somebody comes up to him and is like, hey man, I have this huge hotel I want to build. He's going to be like, dude, I can't do that. That's not who I work with. That's not who I want to meet. I want to meet people that want to build houses. Vice versa, maybe it's a commercial contractor. Hey man, I have somebody that wants to build a little, 600, 700 square foot house. Do you think you can do that? He's like, no man, I build shopping malls. I don't build houses. It's two different things. They know exactly who they want to target. You in your business know exactly who you should be targeting as well. Now, we've talked about those marketing and sales strategies, knowing sales, watching this channel. If you're interested in learning sales, there is a sales link down below for my MSP Sales Pro Blueprint course. If you want to get that and learn significantly more for sales, it will drastically accelerate your growth. But learning sales, getting out there, doing the conversations, the phone calls, the reps over and over and over again will make you an elite salesperson. With training, the sky is the limit. So number 7 is going to be your operational plan. What does that look like? What does your day-to-day look like? And who are you dealing with? Your suppliers, your strategic partners, electricians, low voltage cabling guys. Maybe it's commercial building manufacturers that are building out those buildings. And then you're saying, hey, I'm the IT guy. Can I figure out who's going in here so I can help them? Whatever it may be, figure out your strategic partners and figure out your operational workflow. Tickets are going to come in. They're going to go to the service desk. They're going to go from a level 1 to a level 2 technician to a level 3 technician, if applicable. All of these different areas come into play, but having an operational plan, and it might be something that you just kind of sketch out now and revisit down the road. That's super important. Number 8, financial plan. Revenue projections, expenses, your expense budget, how much are you spending every single month on software, on employees, on the lights, on the tech, the cameras, and all that kind of stuff. What are you expending on that? And what does the future of that actually look like? And then a cash flow analysis. How much money are you taking in? How much money are you spending? If you get some investor money in the beginning, you probably spend some more money in the beginning until you break even, and then you'll become profitable. But if it's just you, figure out how to make that work. Trust me, you absolutely can. 99% of you guys are not going out and getting money. Figure out that cash flow analysis after you get your first couple of MRR customers, that monthly recurring revenue. Number 9, funding. If you need funding, go get it. Find venture capitalists, find angel investors that are interested in starting and believing in you to go build a business, and they're going to want to see everything that you've written down throughout this video. And that's really it. That's all 9. The key takeaways in this entire video, though, is you have to know who your target market is. If you don't know who your target market is, building your business is going to be such a challenge. I'm so serious when I say that. The more you can target, the more you know about that person, that buyer persona is vital. Going through, figuring all that out. There's a second page to this whole thing. If you want, go grab it. But what behaviors, what habits, where they hang out online, what activities do they like? Are they going to conferences? All of these things are really, really important. You need to focus on customer service. It is super, super important. If you don't have a solid level of customer service, where if somebody calls in and they're not getting help right away, you're missing out. You are a service business that specializes in technology. You are not a technology business that focuses in service. It is a very clear difference. I'll probably actually make a whole video on that in the future, but you're getting the sneak peek now because you've watched this video for 21 minutes so far. You are a service business. They are paying for a service. When they call in, you guys go and provide the service. It's not a technology company. You're not coming up with technology. You're not building technology. You're working in technology to provide a service. There's a huge, huge differentiator there. You have to stay informed about everything. And if you need help marketing through any of this, or you're looking for private coaching, I've had a lot of people say, hey, how do I get in touch with you? I'm actually going to show you guys how to get in touch with me. Growth-generators.com. Go to contact us, fill out the form, full name, for, email, website, CRM, coaching, SEO, PPC, pay-per-click. There'll probably be more in here as time goes on, but just reach out to us. Give me your name, email, phone number, what you need help with. Could be a CRM, could be coaching, whatever it may be. This is going to help you move tremendously in the right direction if you want help. If not, keep watching on YouTube. I hope I've earned a like button at this point, a subscribe button, hopefully. And if you want to take it to the next level and you don't want to miss another video, hit that little notification bell. I appreciate the heck out of you guys. I'm super grateful for being able to build this stuff and build these tools that are going to help you succeed online. Other than that, all the links down below. Down below. Don't miss out. Masterclass, absolute gold mine. All the links down below. And 3, if you want to win the package that I'm giving away right around just before Christmas, so you can get it in time, hopefully for Christmas, make sure you go enter to win the giveaway down below. It's loaded with goodies. There's actually a whole video on it, what an MSP salesperson needs. I highly suggest it. There's no cost to enter, by the way. It's totally free. You can go down there, put your information. On that, I love the heck out of you guys. I appreciate you guys always checking it out. And if you want me to create a video that will help you tremendously, please leave that down in the comments below. I read all of my comments and I answer all of them. Love you guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye.